The Clippers stunned the NBA world when they sent Chris Paul home in the middle of the night on December 3, choosing to part ways with the future Hall of Famer after a tense meeting with team president Lawrence Frank. For a player who has built a reputation on leadership and accountability over 21 seasons, the decision sent shockwaves through the league. But according to reporting from Sports Illustrated and ESPN, Paul's attempts to hold those around him accountable didn't land well inside the Clippers' locker room, creating friction with coaches, players, and management. One moment from late November has now come to light, offering a glimpse into the tension that had been brewing. During Prime Video's NBA coverage, insider Chris Haynes shared the story behind Paul's cryptic Instagram post, a screenshot of the word leeway. At the time, fans were confused. Now we know what sparked it. It happened during a November 29 game against the Mavericks. Kawhi Leonard, on a minutes restriction, struggled to keep up defensively after sitting for an extended stretch. Late in the fourth quarter, during a timeout, Paul approached Leonard and asked if he felt fresh enough to guard Klay Thompson. He then suggested to his teammates that they switch the matchup until Leonard had warmed back up. The Clippers ended up making the switch. But the next day, Clippers assistant Jeff Van Gundy confronted Paul on the team plane. Van Gundy asked if Paul had changed the defensive assignment. Paul denied making any official change, saying he simply offered a suggestion that another player pick up Thompson temporarily. Van Gundy wasn't convinced, telling Paul that he might have had that kind of leeway elsewhere in his career, but he didn't have it in Los Angeles. Haynes described the exchange as minor, but inside the organization, it symbolized a much larger rift. Tension between Paul and head coach Ty Lue grew so severe that the two reportedly were not speaking for weeks. What began as small disagreements over communication and approach eventually escalated into full-blown conflict. For the Clippers, it reached a breaking point. The team ultimately concluded that Paul's leadership style and the friction it created was no longer worth the aggravation. A 21-year veteran, sent home overnight by a team hoping to maintain control of its own locker room. A franchise trying to balance star power, structure, and egos. And a reminder that even one of the greatest point guards of all time can find himself on the wrong side of a team's chemistry. The Clippers moved on. Now the rest of the league waits to see what Chris Paul does next.